Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to JT's Mixtape. This is episode number 56. And if you guys are enjoying these podcasts, please give me a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
Come closer, my child.
What's going on, y'all? This podcast is brought to you by Modern Roots Life. Modern Roots Life is a Christian-owned and operated company, and it's bringing real health back to its roots. They offer powerful, all-natural health supplements such as beef liver, cod liver oil, beef tallow, magnesium, and mineral-rich salts, all sourced the way God intended. Clean, simple, and from the earth. So whether you're looking to boost your energy, restore mineral balance, or just fuel your family with real nourishment, Modern Roots Life has got you covered. Guys, in this community, we're trying to get healthy in our mind, in our body, in our spirit. So don't neglect your health. If you want more information, check out modernrootslife.com and check the link in my description. You know, people often ask me how they can support me. Well, I think it's pretty cool if you can support me by supporting the people who support me, and you get something in return. And being healthy is a pretty good return. Well, boys, we're all here today. Once again, I'm your host, JT. I got my co-host with me, Brian, Demon Racers. What's going on, brother?
What up? What up?
And last but not least, AA Ron, Tune Thy Heart. What's going on, Aaron?
What's up, everyone? Hello. Let's
Do you like? Do you prefer AA Ron? I call you
That's the
AA
only
Ron.
thing I go by.
Or is it completely obnoxious that I started that trend when I had you back on the show?
You know, believe it or not, I didn't even hear. Everyone used to say that to me, and then somebody told me to watch that skit. I think I was like maybe, I don't know, it was in my late 20s because it's old. It's fairly old by now.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and watched it, and ever since then, it doesn't bother me at all because that skit is freaking hilarious.
You would not be on this show if you couldn't laugh at yourself a little bit.
Dude, no, that skit is hilarious, man.
You gotta respect when somebody makes a good joke, it's a funny joke, and of course, you can't be so prideful about your own name where you get self-conscious or defensive about it. Yeah,
No,
the best is just to laugh. Is to laugh.
Certainly not with just a name.
Which, you know what, to tease a little bit, and maybe we won't get right into this yet. I just kind of got in one of those algorithms this week. I saw a lot of funny videos. And I thought, you know, sometimes laughter is the best medicine for this darkness that we deal with. So we want to laugh today. And so anyways, I'll tease that for later. But to start, so it's really interesting, of course, a lot of the content I do find lately is not just on TikTok. It's scrolling through X and seeing what people are talking about. And gosh, the algorithm on X right now is obnoxious. It's all these pro-Zionist people, all these women trying to teach us the Bible about how, you know, if you hate the Jews, then therefore blah, blah, blah. And you're like, first of all, we don't hate the Jews. Second of all, the way that you're trying to frame the whole argument about Israel and Zionism and all this stuff is just wrong. The whole thing is wrong. And it's like, this algorithm is like, gotta be like one of the levels of hell of like hearing this nonstop of just, because the algorithm before seemed like it was so anti that we were always on X. And now it's like, was it when Bibi Netanyahu got in front of those influencers and he was talking about, hey, we need to get TikTok and then we need to deal with Elon Musk. He's an ally. He's an ally. And so has the Hasbro budget got over to X to now influence the discourse?
I'm sure it has. I will tell you that on YouTube, I got ads for like pro-Israel, like buy this necklace and support your Christian and Jewish alliance. And I'm like, what? What is this? What is this? It is like giving me all these ads, and I'm like, dude, my algorithm just went full bore flip flop. Like I'm seeing ads like support the war that Israel is fighting. You're like, what? Like, what is this? Like, support it? What are you talking about?
Do you think that this works? I would say that
It
for the most
works.
part, that because of the war in Gaza and because all the
Hmm.
kind of the Zoomers have grown up watching a live streamed war and all the horrors of it.
Hmm.
I think that now when they tried to pivot, the social media tried to pivot so hard when they've kind of learned a lot about, they started to notice lots of things. And when this pivot is so hard, it almost pushes people even further to the right because they're like, this is totally manufactured. This is totally phony, which it obviously is. And then it's kind of like, hey, remember when they say that certain people kind of control the media? Well, this looks like this is
They
evidence that they
control
do.
the media.
I mean, the whole thing, like I said, you have this stuff going back with Candace Owens and also Tucker Carlson, how all these people are just, they've got the knives out and they're coming after him hard. Oh, and that leads me to a video that, of course, I thought was interesting, and I shared it with you, Brian, last week, was that now we've come to the place where they're trying to brand people who are anti-Israel on the right as the woke right. It's so ridiculous. Obviously, it's not going to take. But what these people are doing, the pro-Zionist people, they are using the leftist tactics of like, oh, it's not enough for you to not be against us. You have to be an ally. So, and if you're an ally, you have to disavow all these bad people. You got to disavow Nick Fuentes. You got to disavow Tucker Carlson. You got to disavow Candace Owens, yada, yada, yada. And so that brings us to Megyn Kelly. So Megyn Kelly kind of got caught in this because she's friends with Tucker. And she says she's not even really friends with Candace Owens, but we played a clip where Ben Shapiro was coming after her saying, hey, why don't you disavow Candace Owens? She's saying all these crazy things. If this was a leftist saying that what Erica Kirk killed her own husband, then you would go after them hard. And it's like, did Candace say that? No, obviously Candace did not say that. But this is interesting. So one of the biggest Zionist shill organizations right now is the Babylon Bee and Seth Dillon. Did you guys see this story? I thought this was absolutely crazy. Check this out.
Y'all, the Israel First crowd in America has officially lost their minds. Have you guys seen this story? So the Babylon Bee, the satirical website run by Seth Dillon, posted this article about Megyn Kelly needing to throw her pager away because she feared that Israel would assassinate her with it. Yeah, that's right. Do you guys remember that story where Israel blew up pagers that were quote unquote attached to terrorists? Which in itself kind of seems like a terrorist act, indiscriminately blowing up pagers that may or may not be attached to terrorists. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, so what is the joke in this story? Is that if you're slightly critical of Israel, or if you're connected with anybody like Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens that are critical of Israel, it might get you killed. Is that the joke? Because as far as I know, I think that Megyn Kelly's been pretty pro-Zionist for the most part in her career. So the fact that she does not disavow Candace Owens, who's looking into Charlie Kirk's assassination, and many people have wondered if Charlie Kirk being critical of Israel at the end of his life might have been what got himself unalived. So is that the joke? Well, obviously that's what it seems to be the joke. And of course the Babylon Bee end up deleting it afterwards because they realize, hello, this looks bad for Israel, not Megyn Kelly. So the joke blew up in their face, basically. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is crazy? Are they losing their grip? Are the Zionists panicking? The answer is obviously yes.
Thoughts, Ron?
Well, you asked before if they really thought that advertising and all of that stuff was working, and that kind of goes hand in hand with that. And the reality of it is, they know there are a certain amount of people that don't buy any of it. They know there are a certain amount of people that are awake, so to speak, and it's going to push them even further away. They don't care about that. They're scrambling to get all of the people that aren't awake. They're scrambling to get all of the people that, because there's far more of them. And so they don't care about pushing the other people further. What they care about is making sure the people that are not fully aware of everything that's going on, they're worried about keeping them lulled and asleep. And so yeah, it works. I mean, that advertising stuff works. Those ads and all of that. Like they have the psychology behind that stuff down to a T, completely mastered. They know exactly how it works. They know exactly how it's going to pull people, where it's going to push them, how it's going to push them. And so we see it and we're like, are they like, do they not realize this is pushing people further away? People that are semi-aware of it, it is doing that too. But
Mhm.
everyone else, it's actually doing exactly what they intended to do and pulling them back into the fold.
It's witchcraft.
What do you
Literally
think?
witchcraft.
What do you think, Brian? You think that
Mhm.
that post was a threat, though?
I mean, I think you know what I think is more telling is the actual story of the pagers is so obvious because like you got
Like,
Well,
it's
when you-
terrorism, right?
it's terrorism, but not only that, you got to ask yourself, how did all the supposed Hamas terrorists get the pagers in the first place if Israel wasn't the one that gave it to them? Do you understand? Like, Israel gave them the pagers and
if
said,
they were aware of them the whole time, why did they wait till right then? If they had a beat on every single one of them
Yes.
the whole time?
yes, Israel gave them the pagers. Israel's been funding the entire thing. They've been giving them the money. Bibi Netanyahu's been accused of giving them the money multiple times. They gave it to Kuwait to give to them, and they had it in writing, and they had bags of money that they gave to these people that are supposed terrorists to do whatever. I mean, these are just disenfranchised people that are angry whose whole family's been killed, and they gave them the guns. They gave them the weapons. Israel's giving all of it to them.
Well,
And the
wasn't he- I
pagers
think
that
what
they then blew up.
famously- What famously, I think we might even played a clip on this show. Ron Paul was before Congress, and he was saying that yes, Israel funded Hamas initially because they were supposed to be this kind of buffer against the Ayatollah. So I think the Ayatollah who was in
So dumb.
I want to say the Ayatollah Khomeini might have been the one who was in charge in Palestine at the time. So it's kind of like in this situation we always hear about in the Middle East. Oh, well, we're going to support the moderate rebels because we have some bigger boogeyman that we don't like, so we're going to fund the moderate. And then it just turns out, I guess that the moderates turned out to be ISIS. That's what we're told. I mean, that's what we're told. I mean, that's famously, I think John McCain met with ISIS when they were the moderates. And then eventually, supposedly, they weren't. And what was it recently was even that the guy who's now in charge in Syria was literally in the White House. And guess what? He was Al Qaeda. There was like a wanted poster from the FBI and that they had this guy wanted for terrorism. And he's meeting with Trump in a 3-piece suit. So
Wow.
yes, obviously, yeah, the lines are very blurry. But I want to get specifically what you're getting down to. So are you saying that the pagers might have been a situation where they were actually using these people as assets, and then they were expendable, and then that's when so like the pager was given to these people because they were working with them.
Yeah.
And then they hit the kill switch on it, and then ball bearings and explosions and all that stuff.
Oh, that could be multiple parts. They could either have been working with Israel directly, or Israel gave them these group of pagers to give out to all their other people, which means Israel has plants in the whole system. The whole thing is given by Israel. The whole thing is funded by Israel. It's completely Israel the whole time. This whole thing. All war is a false flag. All wars are false flags.
Well,
started with false flags.
But Jesse Ventura famously said that in front of Piers Morgan when he was talking about 9/11, and he was saying every war has been started with a false flag.
Yep.
But I want to get specifically onto the Megyn Kelly thing, though. Isn't it wild? Like I said, if Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk were very kind of similar on their takes with Israel, they were very pro-Israel, very anti-Hamas. Like, I mean, you've seen all the clips from Charlie Kirk. That's why
He said some terrible things, Charlie did.
he was saying so many things. And it was famously that Megyn Kelly was doing a show with Charlie Kirk. And that's when they were both kind of lamenting the fact that out of all the things they've said to support Israel, all the things they've done, now they're being called anti-Semitic. And you could see like Charlie Kirk seemed like broken and hurt. And Megyn Kelly was obviously sympathizing because she shared the same positions as him. So now you get to the point where it's like, I'm not sure what she said negatively about Israel at all. It's like literally the fact that she won't say anything bad about Tucker or Candace, and the Babylon Bee thinks it's a funny joke that, hey, Israel might kill her for that, for not disavowing people who are podcast hosts. It's
not funny.
It's like, it's insane. And it's like, That's why I asked, was that a threat? Because it was a terrible joke if the joke was on Megyn Kelly. But if the joke was, ha ha, this foreign country might kill you if you talk bad about them or if you don't say enough good things about them, that is frightening. Like, that's not a funny joke. That's not, there's no punchline in that. That's just like, hey, whether you guys believe the Charlie Kirk thing was real or not, that what the optics are that this guy, Charlie Kirk, might have been killed because he said, I can no longer support Israel.
No, they want people to take a stand, and they want people to take a hard stand, especially the people that are in the limelight, like Megyn Kelly. And so that whole situation, I don't see how that Babylon Bee thing can be taken any way other than a threat. And like that video you shared where they were going around asking everybody where they were going to travel to if they got elected. And
Oh yeah, it's so
and
funny.
everybody was giving the same answer, and then they straight up like high school bullied the new governor of New York or whatever his new role is.
The Arab Jew.
Well, like they straight up high school bullied that dude because he didn't give the same answer as everyone else. And so I think it's clear at this point in time, the line has been drawn in the sand, and they don't want these people being quiet. They want these people to take a stance either for or against and make it known and make it public because they want their enemies to be known.
Oh,
I think it's that simple.
Speaking of that specifically, I want to stay on that point real quick. Like you were saying, you couldn't believe how on the nose that video was of the debate for the mayoral election in New York. When it seemed like an SNL skit. Well, have you seen the video of the former mayor, or
Yes.
soon to be
That's so
former mayor?
funny. Yep.
Have you seen that, Aaron?
Yeah.
You got to see this.
No, I haven't.
Eric Adams, who was the former mayor or soon to be former mayor, I'm not exactly sure when Mondani is inaugurated or whatever.
Which, by the way, I had to admit, JT was right. Mondani is totally like, what did it come like right afterwards? Like after he got elected, there's a video of him in the room with the Jews with his little red bracelet on.
Yeah.
And they're like, we found out that you're secretly from a line of Jews. Like, you're like,
what
"Of
are the
course."
odds? That was lucky, huh?
What are the odds?
Yeah, check this out. This is again, this is funnier than anything SNL has put out in years.
Funnier than-
here in Israel. And as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you.
Like what?
Aaron,
Served you
Aaron,
as
thoughts?
the mayor? What?
That's
This is another country, bro.
He's the former mayor?
Yeah, well now he is because
Well,
he's the
yeah,
one.
I mean,
he's the current
he's
mayor.
either. I mean, again, I don't know. It's probably like I don't know if it's like a presidential election where it's not till January that Mondani fully takes office. But yeah, like he's either the current mayor, he's soon to be former mayor. Is that
I
he's
guess-
yeah.
My stance is, at the very least, why is everyone not asking themselves, why is this happening?
Yes, exactly.
Like why are people not stepping back and saying, why is it everyone, and why are they all over there, and why are they all, because they can't play the Christian card, they can't play the
Yes, these guys are not necessarily devout evangelicals.
no, they can't play that card, and because if they try, they can't, dude. And I think that it just goes to show, like, so many of these people are not following. Either they don't have any thoughts of their own, or they're not following those thoughts through to try to put it all together, right? So it's like, regardless of what the conclusion is, why is no one asking questions about why all of them are pledging allegiance over there? And you can see too, that's what's crazy.
Everyone.
Right. And if you look at like I'm not a body language expert, but I will say that, like, being on the spectrum heavy, that when I talk to people, I pay way more attention to the inflection of their voice and the way that their body moves and the way their eyes are looking at me or not looking at me than I do the words that they're saying. And so when you watch a video like that, it's like, dude, they're surrounded by these thugs that are almost like ready to like take them down if they don't say what they're gonna say. It's like they're all standing by, like looking at each other, waiting to see what they're gonna say, making sure they say the right thing.
Yeah,
and then like
it
as soon as they say it, they're all Every video's like that.
did have hostage video vibes right
Totally,
there.
they all do.
I totally did everything I could. Please trust me. I'm your brother. See, I got the hat on and everything by the wall.
Dude, they're always surrounded. Always.
What is it? Yeah, what do you like? We talk about, this show is typically not so political, but I do believe in, as a citizen of this country, the American first idea. Okay, put our citizens first. That doesn't mean you leave out the rest of the world totally, but you just make sure you take care of us first.
But every
Right.
country should serve their people first.
Every country should be whatever country they are first. And then when you can have a surplus and you can help people, and obviously you see people in need, then you help. That being said, this is the mayor of New York City going over to Jerusalem to tell these people, I served you as mayor. What? What does that mean? So obviously that's the exact opposite of the idea of what New York City first.
Dude, let's just break this down to the most simple way possible for people that don't fully get it yet. Do you guys have pets?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's fantastic, but I'm going to feed my dog first before I worry about whether your dog's got fed.
Well, it's kind of like when you're in an airplane, right?
Like-
that when the oxygen drops down, put your own mask on first. It's not because you're being selfish, but it's because if you pass out, you will not be able to help your neighbor.
But also, why am I going to get involved in whether or not you guys are taking care of your pets? That's not my problem.
Right.
Like, if you guys don't take care of your pets, that's like, you guys don't take care of your pets. You shouldn't be pet owners. But like, I don't involve myself in that. I didn't even know you guys had pets until I just asked you that question because I'm busy taking care of my own. Like,
Yeah.
it's that simple. It's that simple. And I'm not calling humans in other countries pets, but like, you see what I'm getting
Well,
at?
the point is,
Like,
you're
it's not that complicated.
you're serving the people in your house. It's kind of like that. If you don't take care of your family first, like, what good are you doing to the world if you're going out and feeding the homeless when you've got starving people in your own house?
Dude, if I send
What do
you
you think
40
God is
bags of
honored by
dog
that?
food and then if I send you 40 bags of dog food and be like, my dog starved, it's like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, why would you do?
What
Why
is-
would you do that?
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Our
We're gonna
dogs
put
in
our- we're gonna
America
put our
are
pets
starving.
first.
That's
Our dogs in America are starving on the streets. They are homeless and starving. And we're still sending money to Israel. It's just insane. It's insane. So insane.
and I
That's
want to
just
be clear, I'm not equivocating pets to people. I just wanted to break it down to something very simple because I
Talking
think
about
most people
priorities
watching
here.
own a pet. Yeah, most people own a pet. And so they can think about it from that perspective. But no, Brian's right. Like, our people are starving. They're hurting. They're dying. They're
they're homeless. They can't
they're
afford a
homeless.
house.
Right. Look at the vets, dude. The amount
People
of people
just
that are
think-
homeless that are vets is crazy.
Bro, people think it's okay because they're disillusioned because everybody's suffering the same way, but no one should be suffering like we're suffering right now. Like, you should be able to buy a house. You should be able to afford to buy a house, and it should cost you no more than a year's worth of living. Okay? Because it wouldn't take you but a year to build it. So, like, if you were to build it on your own. So it's like, it shouldn't cost you that much to buy a house. We should be able to afford a house and pay for. That's what it used to cost. It
Well,
used to
100
cost
100
your
years
year's
ago-
wages to buy a
100
house.
years ago, people paid cash for
Yeah.
houses and land.
Yep.
They
That's what it
paid
was.
cash for it, and then they started like 3 to 5 year mortgages,
Yes.
and then it was 10 to 15, then it became 20, and now we're talking about 50-year mortgages. I looked this up. Somebody in the comments, I made a video about that, how Shapiro is telling people to move, and he's like, Shapiro's totally right. And I was like, bro, real estate, housing has gone up 60% in the last 5 years.
That's insane.
Like, that is not normal. That's not the young people's fault who have not bought a house yet. That now it's, if people who own homes now can't move, and it's not because they don't have resources, they don't have a job. They have good jobs, they have good houses, and it makes no economic sense. And the only reason things are like that is because the Fed, because our government, because the corporations, they
And the Jews.
the money printing machine. Well, just think about it. I think that's what the most offensive part about sending money, like $30 billion to Israel since October 7th, is because we don't have $30 billion to send anyone. They have to print it. And then when they print the money, our money in our bank accounts drop because inflation goes up, the cost of living goes up, the cost of groceries goes up, the cost of gas goes up, everything goes up. So even if you have the same amount of money in there, because of inflation, you actually have this much less buying power as you had before. So that's not the fault of the people. And just by moving or doing these other things, that's not solving any kind of a problem, because the problem is systemic. The problem is the system, and it's intentionally done to cripple us here.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
the
to make us
offensive
into
part. Is like
slaves.
people don't get it. It's like that's why like people like Ben Shapiro have done nothing but profit off this wicked system, and
Yep.
defending it just pisses me off.
Well, defending it is like they figured out how to take advantage of other people, and they've spent all this time, so they're going to defend it because they think it's fair. They figured out how the game worked, and they had opportunities, and they made money. So why would they not be able to? But the reality is this, guys, like owning houses, you shouldn't own more than like 2-3 houses, maybe. Like that's it. That's all you need to own. You should not be someone that owns more than that, because any more than that, you're not using your house for yourself. You're using it to take advantage of disenfranchised other individuals. And so we have big conglomerate systems. Like, you know what? If you're $100 million system, you shouldn't be allowed to buy more than you shouldn't allow to buy houses. You should you can buy
these
buildings.
private equity firms should not be able to buy.
No, you should not
private
be able to buy
houses.
private houses. Houses should be off limits as investment tools. You can buy buildings as investment tools. You can buy warehouses, but buying homes, that's something that should not be allowed to be purchased by big firms, because and even what's his name, Charlie Kirk talked about this, actually said that, you know, any company over $500 million shouldn't be allowed to buy houses. Very simple, because then it's forcing the arm of living existence into a category where it's a commodity. And so now, like, just to exist is like slavery. Like, just to exist is
Yeah.
a form of slavery.
That's slavery.
Because you can't even own a home. You're going to perpetually be in debt slaves with the current system. And that's just insane, because there should not be buying houses for investment purposes and then taking advantage of the disenfranchised people that can't afford it and then charging them rent. And then you're making a bunch of money because you bought the property first. What? Because you were there first, because you had the money first? Like, that's insane. And that ideology came about from who?
the international bankers. Let's just call them the international bankers.
The international bankers. Let's say the ethically correct term.
But yeah, what you're saying though, and I'm just going to finish on this point, is just the fact that if you did put this country first, what you would want to do is encourage home ownership, not discourage it.
Yeah.
Because when you have skin in the game, you have a house, you have a family, you know, those kind of people typically, not always, typically take care of their business, right? They take care of their yards, they take care of their communities because they have a piece of it. But when you take that access away to having a part of the community they live in, well, they're disenfranchised, and then they behave worse. By
That's
large
what the
part.
Palestinian people are like right now.
But I'm saying if you wanted this country to thrive, what you would encourage is 2-parent households, having children, and home ownership. And if you did that, and you promoted that, and you incentivized that, then this place would be infinitely better. But when you take that away from people, you take all the responsibility away from it, all like the good things to care for and to steward, then what you have is 2025 in America. A crap hole. It's becoming one. It's probably been one like this for a while, but it's getting worse and worse. But this is getting too depressing. Let's stop talking about
We're
this.
gonna go back to laughing. We're gonna go to laughing.
Okay. Maybe, you know, I have a darker video, so maybe I have promoted laughter on this podcast. I thought this was an excellent video. So let's just, who wants to laugh?
Let's try it. We'll try it.
Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Change my nickname.
Okay. What would you like me to call you? You would like me to call you.
That's good.
Did that work?
That's good.
That worked. I mean, that. I
That's
feel
pretty
better.
funny.
I feel a little bit better now, don't you?
No, that's good.
Should we do another one, or should we sprinkle in the laughter?
Go
Let's do that.
again.
Let's go
Do
to
another
another
funny one.
topic, and then we'll pepper it in. If it gets a little too heavy, we've got a few more. Okay, so the other thing I saw on X, and I've been texting back and forth with Aaron about this, was this Allie Beth Stuckey. I guess she's like kind of a political talking head. So she was promoting the new Christmas song, Christmas Carol from the band Skillet, the Christian band Skillet. And I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm not sure exactly what we can get away with on YouTube because it might be copyright, but Brian, you're going to really enjoy this Christmas Carol.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
Just cover your eyes so you don't have a seizure.
Okay,
Is that
that's
blood
enough.
on the floor. I don't know.
So that was O Emmanuel, as performed by Skillet, the Christian band Skillet. What do you think, Brian? Do you think that was a glorifying song to our Lord?
I mean, you're asking the anti-music guy a music opinion. Maybe you should ask Aaron first. But I'll tell you.
Well, just don't. Let's just take the music out of it. What did you think about the visuals of that?
It looked very dark and disturbing. It looked like there was blood on the floor or something, and then it just was like flashing, and I don't know. The screen kind of glitched when we were playing it, but it just didn't look. It didn't look very like peace and loving. Here's what I'll tell you right now. This is how you can tell if something's demonic. Okay, there's music obviously in lyrics that can convey a message of brainwashing and manipulation, right? And so you can hear those wicked lyrics blended into beautiful sound, okay? And it's just as bad. Or you can play music that literally evokes a spirit, okay? There's a spirit that comes out of that song when that music is being played that I can feel it. You can literally hear that music, and it's like this feeling that wells up in you. It doesn't even have to have words sometimes, okay? Like certain heavy metal rock, like this kind of stuff, like you can feel that anger. It feels aggression. You feel the aggression. That's a spirit you're feeling, by the way. That feeling when they play that music that's like, yeah, and you feel that, like that noise, that sound, that is a spirit. I'm telling you right now, like you think it's not, it's like silly. That emotion that you're feeling is a spirit that's coming out of the sound, and it's resting on you, and it can make you angry. You can literally, people listen to heavy metal, you become angry. Okay, you're not. It actually wells up the anger that's deep within you, and it gives a voice to it, and you feel it, and then it makes you an angry person. Like,
Well,
I don't know. I mean, Aaron, you tell me.
I don't think you're saying anything that I don't believe, because when I first watched that and listened to it, I had to turn it off real quick because I was making me sick. For one,
Wow,
the visuals were making me sick because it's like it's all epileptic. It's just like the strobe and all the back and forth, and then the flashes of red. Yeah, they kind of give you imagery of blood, and you're like, this song is meant to be about the birth of Jesus. Emmanuel means God is with us. So this is what the prophecy from Isaiah is, that Emmanuel is here. God is with us. And, when, again, we'll get into Christmas maybe later, the thought of like the nativity story and Jesus coming, the newborn king, and then that is your visual to connect the two. Again, our God is not the God of confusion. that does not go together. That does not blend. That's oil and water. That is. Oh, Aaron, tell us what you think, please.
So Brian's right. 100% he's right. And then JT, you're like the average music listener, meaning like you're just explaining how you felt when you saw it and when you heard it and what's going on. And I would say the average person listening to it, especially watching it, is going to have that same reaction. But no, music, there are literally chord progressions that conjure spirits, that evoke the demonic realm. And these things are understood by people in the industry, not by everyone in the industry, but by people in the industry. And I will just say that as far as Skillet goes, they have the budget and they have the team to make whatever kind of music video they want. So that wasn't an accident. That wasn't because they had, 12 hours to film a video and they're like, oh, we don't have a budget. We don't have anybody. Let's get so-and-so's little brother, right, to film our video so we can put something out for this. Like, I'm not saying they had the biggest budget. I'm not saying I know the exact circumstances behind how they did it and why they did it, but there was a team that came to the conclusion that this is how we should film it. This is what it's going to look like. There was at least some basic storyboarding, and then it was not only filmed, but it was approved. So that was all intentional. That they knew what it was going to evoke or invoke by the time they released it. So it wasn't an accident.
I would wonder and argue if they actually knew or if they were just being influenced by some spirit and they like listened to it and they went, "Oh, I feel something. Yeah, let's release it." And they didn't
do a
fully
Christmas
understand
song,
or grasp it.
Except we're gonna make it death metal.
Yeah,
How about
that's
that?
what we're gonna do.
We got the birth of Jesus.
Like,
Except we're gonna use death metal to get this message across.
that's
And
what-
so the
that's what it feels like.
visuals match the tenor of the song. And I think that's the real issue. And yeah, so as you're right, Aaron, that I am your average music listener and I have liked listening to music and I still like listening to music. And I try to listen to the majority of the stuff I listen to is Christian music. So I did not say, hey,
JT,
I'm
that's
gonna wake
Christian.
up, I'm gonna wake up and attack Skillet today. All I know is I heard they were a big Christian band. It was never my cup of tea, and I guess I really never listened to them too much. But when I saw
Tell
somebody
people our conversation yesterday. Walk them through the whole process, dude. You can tell them exactly how I responded and everything.
So literally, I was scrolling on X and I saw this woman, Allie Beth Stuckey, defending Skillet, saying all these hypercritical Christians in there, defaming them and saying their music's demonic in the comment section. And so I said, ooh, I guess I better look at what this video is. And within 10 to 15 seconds, I had to almost shut it off. And of course, then this sent me down
'cause
this
you could
rabbit
feel
hole.
it.
I was like, what is this band Skillet? I was like, what are they really about? So then I went on their Spotify and then I started looking at their album covers. And so just check this out. So this is what I found. Again, this was not me trying to mine for content. It was just like literally this is how my brain works and how I'm curious about things. And this is how I find stuff. So then I found this album cover.
Oh my gosh. I can't
You're a little
even
late.
believe it.
Right. So that's just one. So that's
They're
one album-
Christian.
Right. And here's another one.
What is that? What
It
is
looks
that?
like it's a mannequin with looks like angel wings with a serpent on it.
Bro, they're telling you that it's satanic.
Right. And look, here's this other one. It's a little girl looking like she's being pulled down into hell, into the earth by these vines.
Dude, what little kid drew that? Looks like a little kid drew that too.
And well, here's another one
Oh,
involving this little girl and this demon. And here's what's really going to trip you out, Brian.
Cover.
Here's what's really going to trip you out, Brian. So I found, if you go to their Spotify and you find out their most popular song on their Spotify. I mean, I'm not even sure how many downloads it had. It's a song called Monster.
I would advise you to not read them out loud. Maybe people can just read them themselves.
Okay,
I
well, I'll
can't see
leave it up
that,
on the
though.
screen. You guys can pause this, but I'll just give you the basic synopsis of this song. This person has a demon, and there's no redemptive part of this song. The song's about having a monster inside them, and it's just all about despair and darkness. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
whoa. I'm like, okay, so if you know the truth and you believe in Jesus, why would you have this song that's so bleak and then there's no way out of having this monster inside you? When you believe in the power of Christ, you believe in the Holy Spirit, that he who is in me is greater than he who is in the world. So we cast down these demons and devils. We trample scorpions and serpents. You don't say that they're uncontrollable and they're inside you. I mean, I guess I said I said
That song is about giving in. That song is about losing hope, giving in, and literally the words are cursing yourself. The
Wow.
words are cursing whoever's singing those words is cursing themselves.
Well, it was another situation where I could not listen. First, when I went there, because if you have Spotify, you can play a song and then you can read the lyrics as you're listening. But I could not listen to that song. It started to make me sick. And then so that's when I went over and I found just the lyrics. I straight up I did a web search on the lyrics and I read them. And I was like horrified that this is like one of the most popular Christian bands, well, supposedly Christian bands in the world. And the more I kind of did research on them, they've headlined for Slipknot, for Black Sabbath, for was it Iron Maiden? Iron Maiden's famously got a song called "The Mark of the Beast," and
Of
all
course.
kinds of just wicked stuff that these
Mhm.
bands sing about. And it's like you're opening for these ultra wicked bands, and probably the reason you do that is because the crowd can't tell the difference between you and them. Maybe they play their instruments better than you do. That might be the biggest difference. But the tenor of the songs and the imagery and the albums and stuff, it all fits together. And I just can't believe that. I can't believe that some people are so naive when they've given you
So-
all the signs that they are just like the world.
So tell them about our conversation. Tell them what you asked me and my responses, and I'll share what I shared with you.
I just said, Aaron, I said, do you first? I can't remember the first time I said, what's your thoughts on Skillet? Because I knew that you would have probably a better insight than me. And then of course eventually I said, hey, what do you think about these album covers? And then I said, what do you think about these lyrics? Can you believe that a Christian would write this? Or I also asked, I said, it's really disturbing to me to think that there's a lot of people probably in this community say, I don't listen to secular music. I listen to Christian music. And then they throw on some Skillet feeling all good about themselves. And then they're having that just dark, just angst and despair just shoved right inside their eyes and your ears and your heart. Ugh.
So the crazy part is that the first band that I was in, I went on tour. They were the first band that I ever toured with. And we toured with them for 3 months in 1999 or 2000. And John Cooper at that point in time, him and his wife, dude
the
was
singer?
John Cooper is the singer. His wife plays keyboards. Dude was evangelizing every single night. He was doing altar calls. He was bringing people to Jesus. But so that's all I know of him personally. But what's crazy about it all is if you look up, and you should pull this up really quick. And
Just because-
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, just because people are raising their hand, how many of those people do you think actually came to the understanding of Christ, or were they just feel-gooders? Too.
What I'm trying to say though is just that like his passion for Jesus was real back then.
Mhm.
Like we spent a lot of time hanging out with them, and so all I can say is that as of then, his passion for Jesus was very, very real, like on and off stage, and so What's interesting though, if you pull this up, JT, that album that they were touring to support at that time was called Invincible. And I think you guys might have some stuff to say once you see the cover.
Okay,
We
let me
talked
see,
about this a few episodes ago.
Okay, let me see.
Skillet Invincible. This is it's back when like industrial rock was like a big thing, and they were touring to support this album. There's a couple of things that I didn't really know to look for back then, that once I saw the album cover, when I re-looked
Oh
it up
yeah, that's
again
right. Yeah, I forgot
yesterday,
about that.
I was like, oh well, I guess there's that.
So it looks like somebody got some fresh hair dye.
oh, you're talking about the bleach hair.
Yeah, they got two of them got the bleached blonde hair.
So that's John Cooper. His wife is on the left.
Which one's John Cooper? It looks nothing like him now. Is that the
John Cooper's the
It-
one with the blonde hair in the front.
Oh my gosh, that's him?
And that guy Kevin on the far right was their guitar player.
See, to
Dude.
me, they look like they weren't a part of the club right there. To me, it's just like they're ignorant, didn't know what they're doing. Just look at.
Well,
we're
maybe
just
they
scouting.
didn't until they got that hair dye.
That was my experience of what Brian's saying. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah, they
being
look like this
so
band right here.
real.
They look like Lifehouse.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
being
It looked like
so
they
honest,
almost
man.
look like In Sync in that picture.
yeah. You know, it's
That
you know,
that's just what they looked like that back then. Like they were very trendy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what industrial rock bands looked like.
Mhm.
But there was a very, very clear passion
they
to
didn't
spread
meet.
the gospel.
Here's what they
They
look
didn't
like.
meet
Here's
Toby
what they
Mac
look
yet.
like.
He
Here's what
didn't
he
get.
looks like now.
You know. Oh, interesting. That's pretty disturbingly bloody looking or something. He didn't meet
Unleashed.
Toby Mac yet. Then at that time, they didn't get the Toby Mac in the back.
No, you're not
They
talking
didn't
about
get the
Mac.
Toby Mac.
You're talking about what's his name? Michael Tate.
Yeah,
Tate.
Michael
Don't
Tate,
worry.
sorry.
As we continue to talk about Skillet, then I went down the rabbit hole of like other Christian artists in their album covers. But yeah, continue, Aaron.
No, so I mean, I'm not I haven't talked to the guys in 20 something years, but my experience with them was him genuinely loving Jesus. And so the only conclusion that I can come to, knowing what I know now, is that because they were at that point in time, they had been a band for a while, and they were working hard. They were a very hard working band. I think they toured 200 plus days out of the year back then, even back then. So they were spending 2/3 of the year on tour, and that's how they made the bulk of their money. And they continued to live like that for years past that. And so the symbolism in the newer albums and the vibes that we get from watching that video, and there's no disputing that. We don't have to pray about it. We don't have to consider it. We don't have to ponder it. Like it's dark. There's something dark going on. Something dark has taken hold. And so my only conclusion on all of that is, I think what happens is most people are under the impression that these bands are formed for the intention of deceiving people.
No,
And
they
I think
never are.
that is well, I think that's true with like maybe some Disney pop bands and stuff
Sure,
like that,
sure.
where like they're groomed into it because that's the plan
Right,
from
you
the
have
beginning.
one producer decides I've got an idea for a band, and the idea is eventually to
Well,
subvert
yeah, like
people.
Kesha was that.
So
Right,
yeah, they
right.
versus these people know each other and they've got together to make a band, and now they want to be
Right.
on tour and they want to do this for a living.
Right.
Well,
But what-
there's innocence like Justin Bieber was an innocent one who was brought in, got made to be popular, and then they destroyed the innocence. So there's
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, and they knew what the plan was with him the whole time, even though he
Yeah.
didn't. But there's always somebody
Mhm.
that wants the fame, the money, and the power more than anything, right? And so when the kids are minors, it's their parents. It's their parents that basically sell them into that, and then the kids become that eventually. But like in cases like that, they work so hard. They work so hard to get their name out there. They take what they do seriously. Eventually, and this is what the enemy does, he waits until you're at your weakest. He waits until you're at your most desperate. He waits until you're at a point where it's like, I've been doing this for 13, 14, 15 years. I've been grinding. I've been writing the songs. I've been touring. I've been doing all of that. And someone comes along and says, hey, we can help you out. We can give you a boost. We can do this for you. We can do that for you. They dangle the carrot, like we were talking about off podcast beforehand. They offer for you to be able to make it somehow, whatever the terms and conditions are. They offer you money, they offer you power, and you take it because you feel like you deserve it at that point. You've earned it. You've done all of the things. You've done it. You tried to do it the right way. You tried to do it all these other ways, and you just can't break through. And that's where it's like all of these people, they want the fame, they want the money, they want the limelight more than they want anything else. When it's like the reality of it is, if you are truly doing what he's called you to do and you're spreading the gospel and you don't take any offers or deals, you're never going to break through. You're never going to make it to that point, and you got to be okay with that. Like,
well, there's a possibility that you won't, and that the Lord could carry you through, but there's also the possibility that you won't. And I would say this, Skillet, whatever your name is, bro, if you're listening, call us. Be on the show. We'll talk to you about your,
Right.
We'll talk to you. We'll let you defend
for
yourself.
Real. Let's talk, John.
Yeah, let's
you
talk, bro.
Me?
Because here's what I would say. I'd say,
Let's have
bro,
a conversation.
I would almost guarantee you there was a point in your career where something came to you and you had an opportunity to become bigger than you were. And that opportunity came at the cost of betrayal of another. I almost guarantee you betrayed someone if you've gotten to that level, because there was that line. Not always, maybe the Lord's blessed you, but in most cases that I've dealt with, a lot of different people that have been in this industry, they all get to a point where there's an opportunity to get big, and it costs the behest of betraying someone that supported you the entire time, or betraying another person, or betraying your brother or your friend or your family. There was some little betrayal. That's how these sell out souls. That's how your soul gets sold in the beginning. It always starts with a betrayal. Then it moves into some type of perversion, some type of moral questioning, and then compromise, and then sexual compromise, and then it's like little steps, and then they give you the contracts where the big hands are being shook at. So it's
and
a little.
If we're wrong about all of this, if we're wrong about all of this,
tell
then
us.
I would love to have a conversation about what changed. What changed?
Yeah, come and tell us. Talk to us. Just say, hey, defend yourself. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is, again, I did not wake up and say, I'm going to just go attack this random person. I literally just saw the song, and then I kind of followed the trail to where it led me. And again, I had no idea about them. I mean, I've heard their names plenty of times, but I didn't know anything about them. And when I researched them, I was just horrified. Like, what is this? I mean, if we're wrong, please tell me we're wrong and tell me why we're wrong. Because all I'll say is that, we're supposed to not give the appearance of evil.
Yeah, it says stay away from the appearance of evil, the Bible says. The appearance means don't look evil.
Yeah, so, I mean, to me, there's a lot of appearance of evil. And I think that when you're...
There's a fuzzy line.
You can have one song that's called Monster, and it's about some demon. That hopefully the song 2, I don't know if this makes it better, you talk about being delivered of that monster that was inside you. Because as a Christian, you don't want to leave people with the idea that it's hopeless if they have a spirit tormenting them. But for 2, it's just the idea that if you are going to have a song like that with no red pill, no white pill to say it'll be okay. The opposite too is that you have a song that was a song you did not write, a song, O Emmanuel, and you distort it where it's nauseating for a Christian to listen to it. So I think that's the problem sometimes, where it's like that when Christians, like seeker-friendly churches and seeker-friendly bands, they want to be too much like the world. It's like, well, if you're appearing with Slipknot and Megadeth or Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath, it's like eventually it's like, well, I don't really see that much difference between you. So actually, I just prefer these other bands because I don't really want you to be preachy now because you're just like them. You want to be like them. At least that's what the appearance is, because you're headlining for them because you eventually want these people to be opening for you. Right? So it's kind of like when you blur the lines so much, like, don't you think it's confusing to people? I
Well,
think
it's like that their
I think it's-
album with that demon covering the little child. It's almost like
it's
the
so
child
horrifying.
is the representation, but the demon's what's really behind the thing. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what's really behind her.
and that's the thing too. And it's like we talk about this many times on this podcast, but I always bring up Alan Moore talking about what actual magic is, and magic is the art. So it
Mhm.
literally can just be art, like
Yep.
album art, because when you
Yep.
see those images, it makes you feel a certain way.
Yeah,
And
you
that
feel something.
change in your consciousness and whatever that does to you, that's magic. So-
Exactly.
So when you have that kind of thing, like when you see that image, it invokes some kind of a feeling in you that a lot of times, I mean, of course, if I'm looking at all their album covers, it's not good. The one guy who looks like he's strapped in, he's like obviously had some kind of accident, and only his one eye, of course, is exposed.
Mhm.
So this guy
An
got
accident, too,
some
which is even
horrific
more disturbing.
accident, and now he's got one eye and he's awake. Of course, that's the whole thing, and we'll get into that. Is the idea of this awakening or illumination? That's what the eye is representing, and it's like that. It's not just one eye. It's kind of pointing to your third eye or your mind's eye. That's
Or
what
the
image-
Illuminati eye.
Well, I mean, it's all the same thing. It's
Yeah.
the eye is synonymous with knowledge. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm
Mhm.
awake,
Yep.
but awake to what? I mean, it's a
Mhm.
very esoteric meaning there. It's like, I mean, again, this is so
That's-
common that we say that Aaron and I were talking about how when I first woke up to the idea that all these celebrities, all of them do the one eye symbolism, all of them. And I know people in the comments mentioned that, yeah, that there's a lot of Christian bands who do that stuff too. And I'll just share a few of them. Of course, I didn't have time to go through a ton of them last night, but I was just kind of just going back and forth, and I was looking at some of them.
So many of them have that eye stuff in it, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what
so
the heck is that?
This is a band that you probably wouldn't expect. Have you ever heard of Mercy Me, Brian?
Yes, yeah.
I liked Mercy Me stuff. Here's this one album cover right here. Yeah, look,
Interesting.
It's all okay. We have an
There's a one
odometer, but
eye.
it's
There's
pretty much we
multiple
got
one eyes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is it? 6, 7. It's like 8. There's a bunch of one eye symbolism on this album cover.
Weird.
But like, why?
I
Okay,
don't
let's
know,
go to
man.
another one. So this is Toby Mac, who was in the band with.
How obvious is it?
Yeah, it was in the band. Toby, Eye on It. This is only one of his album covers, and we actually said it when we were talking about DC Talk the one time. So this is Michael Tate's old bandmate, and yet the DC Talk logo was an eye when you actually looked at it.
Yeah.
Stephen Curtis Chapman, Speechless, and that's another symbol. This
Oh,
is not the eye
interesting.
symbol per
Yeah,
se, but yeah, this is
Covering
the
the mouth. Yeah.
I won't tell, covering your mouth up like that.
Interesting. Mm-mm.
Okay, here was Kevin Max from DC Talk. Here's his solo album. Again in DC Talk. And look, got this silhouette. It's so creepy. Like, what the heck is that?
Weird.
Here's Chris Tomlin, a more famous person right now. He's got
Dang.
the one eye.
Never
And if I'm
lose
being
sight.
honest, what do you see with that one eye, Brian?
Yeah, it's
What
like
I
a snake
see
eye.
is it looks like a slit pupil.
Yeah, it looks like a snake eye. Yeah.
Do you think that that's an accident that he looks like that?
No, never lose sight. That's so interesting.
Yeah, never lose sight. So again, it's about
the thing is,
eye.
I don't know if these people know that they're being influenced for creating this. Half of them. I think they're just being, dude. Look at that.
Brandon
Like,
Lake,
so-
House of Miracles. Of course, one eye. Of course, look at his tattoos. But he's got a serpent there. Looks like, is that a snake or is that a
Yeah.
cattail? I'm not even sure.
Definitely looking like a snake.
Okay, that was it. But
Dude, here's another thing I'll say is like, A-Rod mentioned how he was like on fire for the Lord too, and like bringing people to Christ and stuff. That's good and all. I'm not one that is for that method at all. Actually, I think it's kind of silly and stupid in my personal opinion, but that's just me. because I think raising your hand or coming to Christ or whatever that is, that feeling of emotion, and then saying, "Now accept Jesus," I think is just applause. It's like it's a manipulation tactic, because how many of those people's lives were changed afterwards? Because it's like people don't understand. It says go and make disciples of every nation. It doesn't say go and teach people to raise their hand and say, "I believe in Jesus."
Well, you're
because
supposed to
that's
spread the
it's
gospel.
like, yeah,
I agree with you.
spread
that
the gospel.
Most of those
but
altar calls have created way more false converts.
I think that's what I think it's done.
yeah.
I think most of them have done fault, because the reality is it says those that confess with their mouth and believe in their heart. Okay, believe in their heart, not listen to a rock band and go, "Jesus is real." Like, that's stupid. That is so stupid to me. That's an emotional pull. That doesn't mean you believe in your heart. You know what? There's so many people listen to the content that we put out and they go, "Oh my gosh, I believe it now," and then they confess with their mouth. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
there's
yeah,
a difference.
The truth
There's
is
a
what
difference
really
between
gets them.
people. Yeah, there's a difference between people raising their hand and going, "Jesus, come into my heart." You know what it says about those people? It says, "Many will call me Lord, Lord, but will not enter in the kingdom of heaven."
Yeah,
That's what it says
true.
about those people that raise their hand and say, "Lord Jesus, come into my heart." Bro, because you know why? Because it doesn't matter if you confess with your mouth. Okay, they say, any will say, confess with their mouth and believe in their heart. Okay, believing in your heart is the essence. Confessing with your mouth is the secondary. And they mix it up in church, and they tell you that confessing with your mouth is the first thing when you don't even have a clue of what believe in your heart means, because you have no reference point to understand who Christ actually is and what he's actually done for you. So it's sickening to me. To a lot of times when I see that in church, where people are just like, "Oh, I confess with my hand. Oh, I breathe my hand." Okay, yeah, bro. What has that changed your life? How's that made you any more like the image of Christ, because you thought that it meant something when you raised your hand, because you felt some emotion? Sorry, anyways, I get passionate.
No,
irritated.
I agree with you. We are to love people like Jesus, and we are to go and make disciples. I actually agree with everything you just said. What I was really getting at was the fact that, like, I watched him love people like Jesus.
That's good. See, that's good.
I watched him spend time with fans and people, and it wasn't about signing stuff for them. Like, he was loving them. Like, he was loving them like Jesus. Not just because he spent time with them, but he was like
But
getting
you don't
in the
know the
weeds
man's heart. What if he was loving him because he felt something good when he was doing it, and he got a little fuzzy feeling
Listen,
too? You know?
I'm all for having every side as a possibility. But what I can say is that for somebody that pays attention and watches, and can generally understand intentions from people, because that's one of my TISM gifts. The dude had a really good heart when I knew him.
Let's bring him on.
So that's all I can say. I
Yep.
don't know what happened between then and now. I don't know what happened to change. And I'm not saying he doesn't have a good heart anymore.
He still may be
I
the
don't-
same. Yeah.
He still might be exactly the same. I just would love to know what changed, because even lyrically wise, like, even lyrically, you could literally pull up lyrics from almost any of those songs that he wrote back then compared to now. You will see the difference. It's not even a debate. Like, he was writing love songs for Jesus back then, and anthems for Jesus back then. And so, like, that's the contrast. And
Got
so I would love to know what the difference is. Like, his lyrics weren't ambiguous back then. Like, not even a little bit. So, so I it's sad. It's sad to see how much it's changed. And you can tell a lot about a person by their countenance as well. So I guess all I'm trying to say is, I can't say anything other than what I personally know.
Yeah.
And I'm not always going to have a personal account of people that we talk about on here. But in this
Agreed.
instance, I do. And that was my experience.
Yeah,
well, Mr.
so
Skillet,
I want to just
come
address
on the
something real-
show.
just
Talk with
real
us.
quick, Brian. I agree in large part that these altar calls are, again, they create false converts. But I also don't want to condemn people or say that they have bad intentions when they give one. Because I think that
No,
if you're
of
like
course not.
if you're a zealous Christian and you think you have this microphone and you could speak out to people and you're trying to share your testimony, okay, if you want to know Jesus, kind of like even saying at the end of one of these shows, like, if you want to know Jesus, I pray that you cry out to him today. Now, I think that there's a different thing when you have, like, kind of like the Billy Grahams of the world, and how he'd they turn up the music a little bit. Now we're going to get it all soft. And it's like, it does feel like an emotional manipulation tactic to turn on the music and playing like the little chimes and getting people all primed. And so, yeah, like you want to make a conscious decision, not out of emotion. It's kind of like, I came from the era where they had these things called like Acquire the Fire and these different
I remember that.
conventions
Oh,
where
yeah.
you'd go
Run
to.
Loose.
And what was the other one? Yeah. And you'd go there and it would all be fun. And then they would just give you like the scariest fire and brimstone sermon where it's like, if you don't accept Jesus right now, do you want to go to hell? And of course, everyone is like terrified and we're like, no. And so you're so scared that, of course, if you give somebody, here's option A, you want to go to heaven forever, or do you want to go to burn in like a fire forever? Of course, you'll say, I'll raise my hand. What do I got to say? Tell me the words. And then you repeat after this guy, and then you're supposed to be different. And then lots of us, like myself, I left that place and I didn't feel any different. I thought like, well, at least I don't have to worry about hell for a minute. But my
Until
behavior,
summer camp came and you rededicated your life again.
Until the next time you went to one of
JT
those
raised
things,
his
you're
hand
like,
10 times.
you realize that you had not changed. Like I didn't feel any different.
No.
And I think that's the real difference. But yeah, to get back on track with Skillets per se is that I wonder, Aaron, that we were showing all those album covers from these bands like Chris Tomlin, Toby Mac, Kevin Max, Stephen Curtis Chapman, was it Brandon Lake? And you have these guys and they're all showing the one eye symbolism and stuff like that. I wonder how much that influences a Skillet too, where they would say, well, this is the only way to make it here. Because these other older guys who came through Nashville or whatever, and they've done the Christian music scene, it's like, this is just how it's done. And so eventually they're like, well, you're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. You're going to tour 200 days out of the year and be broke as a joke. Or you can be opening up for mega bands.
I can't say what kind of deal they took, what they did, what all is involved in that process for them, because it is different for everybody. But I will just say this, and that is that the one thing that all of the one eye symbolism bands and artists have in common is they're all compromised. They've all accepted some sort of deal, and I don't know what the offer is, but I'm willing to bet that most of them are so confident in their faith that they think they can take those deals and then continue to be how they are. They think, oh, well, we'll be the ones that go in and change things, right? We'll be the ones that go in and don't compromise our beliefs. But like, we got to do this to get to the next level. We got to do this to get into the arena and play with the big leagues. And it's like, once the enemy has you in that place of compromise, it's game over. Like it's game over. Like you're compromised.
It's because
like
the enemy is invisible and they don't see it. And they think they're making a decision without signing an agreement in front of another person. No, you aren't, fool. You just signed an agreement in front of a demon. I know these things because I can hear them. I've witnessed this experience. I know what they say. I know what they do. Like you sign an agreement with your compromising acts, regardless if there's another person present. Demons are present, and they watch you, and then they hold that agreement that you took, and they can use it as a leverage to take advantage of your mind. I know because I have to pray people to get rid of these agreements all the time. I have to pray people that they've never made an agreement before anybody, but they did it morally and ethically inside of their heart, and I have to break those agreements, and then the demon leaves the person. That's how it works.
So really quick. So we always talk about this stuff and we always kind of expose this stuff and discuss it. But for anybody that's watching that may have done something like that, can you walk them through how to break that agreement in case they're watching and they want to do that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say go on the calls, go on Isaiah Saldivar map and talk to a deliverance person, or go to demonrazers.com and we'll walk you through it. It's kind of a process, but a lot of what it comes down to is forgiveness for yourself. And I have to walk people through how to forgive others, how to forgive yourself. And then sometimes you have to go to the person that you betrayed or the ethical thing that you did, and you have to say sorry to the person. If it literally says this in the word, it says, if you have anything against your brother, go to them first before you come before God. So there's people I have to be like, listen, dude, you got to go say sorry to your person that you've done this to, or whatever this was. And if you've done it to yourself, you have to forgive yourself. And I show people how to forgive themselves. And that's what I do for a lot of deliverance stuff. I walk people through that.
Once they've done all of that, then they renounce the contract.
Yep. They say, I renounce and I break and I make void any contracts or any spiritual things I've done in the name of Jesus. And boom, you feel it like a weight. They feel it. Everyone is like, they're like, what the heck? They can feel it come off their shoulders, bro. They feel it. And I'll ask it, like, you just be like, how do you feel? They'll be like lighter. They're like, I feel like so much lighter. Like I was carrying a backpack this whole time and I didn't even know. And it's like a weight that breaks off the people. It's crazy, dude. It's so cool to witness this. Like when we pray and see people like release it, it comes off and they're like, oh my gosh. They're like, I did not know I was holding this invisible baggage that I didn't even know was on me. It's crazy.
Like the Pilgrim's Progress reminds me of the Pilgrim's Progress, that backpack that he's carrying.
All right, you know
I
what?
love that.
Let's continue on the theme of mega death metal or whatever it is, or death metal or whatever. And I think this is kind of funny video, but it's kind of timely too. Check this out.
Okay, this is dope. Okay, personally, I'm not a death metal fan myself, but the fact that she chose to do this on like the grandest stage of a beauty pageant, she chose death metal for the talent portion of Miss World Chile. That's dope. Okay, that's something not seen before, right? You must be a fan of Wicked because you out here defying pageants, right? And I don't really know how they score this stuff, but like I think she needs extra points because how you gonna sing death metal and still be fierce at the same time, right? She out here talking about some like you need extra points. Now I'm inspired. If I join a beauty pageant, I'm gonna do something out of the ordinary. Okay, I'm a beatbox. Okay, and still be fierce. Talking about some.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know if I really liked the death metal in the beauty pageant. I mean, I guess the one thing that really trips me out, and I'm sure Brian and Aaron agree, like we have no idea what she's saying, but I'm sure it's not good.
It's demons, bro. It's demons talking to her mouth. Like,
It
bro,
doesn't
it's
feel
not-
good. That's for sure. So, from what I understand, one of my buddies that had seen that video, he said that she's actually in a death metal band. She's actually the singer in a death metal band.
What?
Mhm. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, why would you do that on stage like that?
Well, I mean, for one, it would be like that you get on JT's mixtape because it's very unusual. You know, I mean, the point is, not just my show, is the fact that this is some beauty pageant in Chile. Like, why are we talking about this other than you have this model type woman singing in a way that's very unusual? So, I mean, again, it's like
to me,
it sure makes you stand out at least.
To me, it doesn't count because she didn't do any hair flips. Like she didn't swing her head or anything.
Yeah.
Like if
You know,
she
like
was
it took her to
really
get
in it
hair
to win
done?
it,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying though. But if she was really in it to win it, she wouldn't have cared. She would have done the head. She would have done the head spin.
But that's what made it unique because it was like she was having a two-tonal personality. It was like looking
he said.
a different part,
Yeah,
but,
like he said.
Like you
but
said.
sounding like a totally demonic thing.
Yeah, it's the duality, right?
It's the
that was
duality,
kind of
yeah.
the message there is that it's
She's
the
in the
darkness,
club.
it's the evil with the beauty, and then so it's confusing to us. Is this magic? Is this some kind of a spell that it's like, I never even considered listening to that kind of music, but she kind of made it.
Oh, that's exactly what that's for. It's totally what that is. That is a spell that is magic putting out on a bunch of people to start listening to this angry, wicked music. And like, bro, that sounded so terrible.
It's awful.
Like,
Yeah, it
what
sounds like
is that
somebody's
trash?
retching. Somebody's about to throw up.
Yeah, it does, bro. I could do it way better than that. And that sounds terrible. It doesn't even sound impressive. Like, what are you
Brian,
like?
you could do the hair.
Yeah, I can do the hair. Like, ah, look.
Well, it just, I mean, again, it's in the name, death metal.
Stupid.
Like that's the kind of message you want over yourself. It's like, yeah, you're speaking. We have the power of life and death in the tongue, and it's like,
Yeah.
do not speak death, do not sing death,
not
do
life
not
metal.
celebrate death.
Like-
As Christians, we're all about life and light,
Yeah.
not death and darkness. I mean,
no,
it's just
seriously, we need to start out a life metal band, man.
life metal.
We'll call it Life Clouds. You can't call it metal either. It's gotta be
Eternal life
soft.
metal.
I like it. I like the title. I like music, and I would like to see better, more edifying music, not stuff that makes me want to throw up.
You know, it's funny, the legalistic Christian perspective. They're like, it sounds terrible, but does the lyrics say good things? Okay, I guess it's okay, honey. You just
Playing,
you know,
mental gymnastics
Yeah,
to
it's
try
like-
to justify
Yeah.
something that sounds so horrible.
I
Yeah,
feel
they're
I've
like,
become
well,
I feel like I've become my
they are
parents. where
saying
it's just like,
Jesus.
what?
Jesus. Like,
This is going to be a bad analogy for some, but it's kind of like what people say. It's like the definition of pornography. You know it when you see it.
well,
You know,
listen,
you
JT.
don't really have to define it. It's like when you see it, it's like you know what it is. When you hear that and when you see that stuff, like again, you see the Skillet music video. I don't have to listen to the lyrics. I know it's demonic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing. It's like when we say it's demons, bro, it's like you shouldn't have to explain away all the weird stuff you just saw or the weird things you just heard. You're like, that's demonic. That's
Yeah,
kind of like you have to go like the old church lady thing. It's like, could it be Satan? Yes, it can be Satan because that's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like.
No, JT. The porn though, they're married. Okay, so they're married. It's okay. All right. Like that's like the equivalent of them like listen to the music. The lyrics talk about Jesus, so it's okay. Like that's what it feels like to me.
And we know who owns the pornography business, Brian, don't we?
Oh, of course we do. They wear little funny hats.
Okay, all right. We're gonna go to a
Mhm.
maybe a timely subject, maybe a very kind of spooky one. Aaron shared this video with me, and there is a Economist cover to the new 2026 edition or whatever coming out. Is that what it is, Aaron?
I think it's 2025.
Yeah,
I think it's this
yeah.
current year.
Maybe it's the most
No,
recent.
it's 2026.
It's the most recent.
Maybe it is. I don't remember.
It's a
Yeah.
preview of. It's a preview of 2026. But anyways, check out this video.
Somebody want to tell me why we got cargo ships all along the side of Costa Mesa or Huntington Beach, excuse me? It's Long Beach over there. Something's going on, people. Don't fear. But we're there. All right.
What's he
That video-
suggesting?
Well, that video in itself, I mean, I live in a beach town, and so it's not unusual to see cargo ships. I don't think I've ever seen them all lined up like that. You know, and there's a
Perfectly spaced out.
it's just the imagery is bizarre. Kind of makes you think that movie was it the Leave the World Behind? You know, the Obama movie from Netflix, where
Uh-huh.
that gigantic cargo tanker ship is coming in and
Crashed.
crashing right onto the shore. But what was interesting, as I teased, this cover to this new Economist is wild. The World Ahead 2026. Geopolitical drift, opportunities for China after Gaza, outlook for the Middle East. Beyond Ukraine and Russia's next moves, the global economy in a crisis brewing, sporting values, political football, weight loss, drugs in the next generation. And so what we really want to focus on right here is, Aaron, why is there a cargo ship right here with what looks to be cannons?
Exactly.
That's pretty weird.
What's up with that? Like, what's up with
Exactly.
that?
There's a close-up picture I think I saw that you've
Yeah.
got of it. I
A
mean,
battleship, cargo ship.
it's literally a cargo ship that's not a cargo ship, but it's a battleship.
They're saying they're weaponizing our goods.
Yeah, well, that could certainly be a message in there. Yeah, I mean, of course, these
Or they literally are battleships that are disguised as cargo ships. I mean, there's a lot going on there, right?
isn't it
There's
weird? Like, what
the-
is these guys like? Are these like Greek or Phoenicians in this boat right here with kind of the spy wrangle on there? And
What about the video game controller that's connected to a brain?
oh yeah, oh yeah, is that your what is it, Neuralink device?
Neuralink.
Well, it's just video
or-
games. How they're brainwashing all of our children.
Dude, I've got
It's
some
got the
pretty
penis
gnarly
rocket on
theories.
there.
Oh yeah, that's Bezos's phallic ship.
Yeah.
And then a blue fist being
yeah.
pumped,
Being arrested. So
arrested?
it's like resistance being arrested.
but it's blue though.
You would have thought it would have been red, and it would be
Right.
symbolic of Trump.
Right, because they very clearly are making a parallel between the blue and the red. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like a very chaotic picture, to say the least. We got tanks.
Look at all oh, dude. One of the satellites is laser beaming down. It's shooting a laser
Shooting
beam
a
at the
space laser.
space laser at the tank.
Yeah, there's that. There's red balloons,
The other one's shooting
robots,
waves.
money. Obviously, lots of
Mhm.
jabs here.
Yeah,
There's
vaccine.
Trumpy right there. I don't really see him. He's not really doing much in that picture.
He's just dancing.
Who are these other characters? Like, do you know who that is?
Mm. He looks Jewish.
It is. Yeah, it is
That's all-
interesting.
that's
The
all I
one
guess.
the one satellite looks like it's shooting a space laser.
The other
At-
one, there is one other satellite, but it's shooting radio waves at the top right.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a handful of satellites up, and there's drones. There's a bunch of drones in the air. Oh, you know what else? There's a ton of those rover dogs, the ones that they just armed with guns. You know those little dogs, those little mechanical dogs. There's like a handful of them all over this map.
Oh, okay.
They're all over the place.
I
There's
see
like
one
4
on
or
the
5
bottom
of them.
right.
We got a guy kicking the globe.
What the heck?
Oh, it's like a soccer ball.
Well, look,
Dude,
look under the Greek or Phoenician ship. There's a little eyeball. Is that a sea monster, or is that just a Illuminati pyramid?
I don't even know.
That's not part of the boat, is it?
It might be.
But it's all got to do with the 250-year anniversary of. I mean that cake in the middle to celebrate the 250-year anniversary of America is. I don't
Pretty
know, man.
ominous.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's again more magic, right? This is more magic because when you see that and you have seen like the kind of predictability in these covers and how they are priming the public for something that
Mhm.
maybe they know what's coming. I mean, it does give you like some very bad vibes, does it not?
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't feel good about any of that. Like none of that makes me feel good whatsoever.
It's funny. It's funny because they put it out like, oh, this is what's going on, guys. It's like all of that is bad. like
I
It
know,
always
isn't
is,
it
though.
kind
That's
of the
what's
crazy
crazy.
thing just to think that these people run the world per se.
and they're
Right.
kicking it. They're kicking the
Well,
world.
and what they're showing you is this place is a chaotic mess. It's frightening, it's messy, it's dangerous, and there ain't nothing good on that cover except for the cake, maybe.
Except for the cake.
Except for the cake. Everything else looks horrible. And it is kind of like we were
I'm
talking
sure
about,
it's
like
full
how,
of
yeah,
gluten.
going back to like the Ben Shapiro thing, like blaming young people for the mess that they have started without any kind of defense for the people. You're like, you're growing up in this world. We had no choice. We're here. And it's like not acknowledging how effed up everything is. Even though,
Yeah.
again, they're showing you right on the cover, it's like these are the people these are the controllers. These are the people who have controls over governments and the UN and all the global powers, or, I don't believe in the globe, but whatever, you know what I mean? The worldly powers. And this is the state that we're in. I would like a little bit of acknowledgement of the fact that they're not doing a good job running this place.
Well, I mean, when was the last time we saw anything like that was pleasant? When was the last time we saw any like of those magazine covers or any of those forecasts for the next year or any of the artwork like that?
Yeah, the
pleasant.
promoted like hope.
Yeah. No, like whenever. I can't remember the last time I saw anything like that on the cover of any magazine. Like every magazine and every single publication and everything coming out is all doom and gloom. And it's like, I mean, I've even told you a handful of times when we do these, even when we do these podcasts, it's like, I love talking about some of these things, but it's also so heavy because we've got to remember at the end of the day, we can discuss these things, we can talk about them, we can theorize, but at the end of the day, like, Jesus is still on the throne and there is still hope in him. In fact, that is the only place that we're going to be able to find our hope. And man, I want to, like, on the heels of that, not to get all evangelistic, but I just want to encourage everybody to make sure that you're balancing your time throughout your day. Make sure that you're spending more time with Jesus, more time in prayer, more time in fellowship with other believers, or more time worshiping than you are spending taking in any of that other stuff, because it will eventually consume you and overtake you and overwhelm you and put you in that same place of despair. There's no shortage of it.
Amen, brother.
There's no
Amen. Yeah, again, we don't say these things to try to freak people out. It's we find these things interesting and maybe potentially important. So again, you do have fair warning, but yeah, we're not trying to black pill people with this stuff.
No, this is more like a safe place to have these discussions where you know that you're getting input from people that love Jesus, that want to point you back in that direction. It's like, we're going to discuss these things regardless, right? Like, that's where we're at in
for
life.
sure.
Like, we're going to see these things, we're going to process them, we're going to discuss them. What better way to discuss them than with brothers and sisters in Christ and through the lens of Jesus? Because it would be very hard to process all of this stuff any other way at this point, because it's all so, I mean, who would have thought a little caricature-ish drawing with ink with just blue and red colors could be so depressing? Like,
Right. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy.
Again, I guess the thing is, I don't ever want to be guilty of giving them too much power, though. But it does feel like that if they are showing this stuff, it's like they can manifest this stuff.
Oh yeah, and there's
Yeah.
enough people that will buy into it and energetically feed off of it that they will be able to manifest quite a bit of it. But again, that's where I want to point everyone back to understanding that we have the authority through Jesus to trample this evil and to not accept it and to not allow it and to pray against it. And that's exactly what we should be doing.
Amen, brother. All right. Well, maybe we need a palate cleanser. We need another funny video. And
Yeah, let's do that.
And I've got one.
Oh, you got a little mustard on your shirt right there.
Wait. I know this game.
Game? Whatever do you mean?
You plan to flick my nose.
What nonsense is this?
You mean to humiliate me?
I only wish to help you, brother.
Simply remove your finger and I will look.
I'll remove my finger, you won't be able to see.
What kind of sorcerous mustard is this where I cannot see it with my own
Your
eyes?
muscular pectorals, brother, they block your view.
I don't believe you.
Only I can tell you where the mustard lies.
You are breaking my heart.
By God's grace, I do not lie.
No, what a den of scorpions is this?
Face your destiny.
To battle then!
Took a pretty sharp turn. Wow.
Were they trying to pantomime Thor and Loki? Because that kind of had those vibes to that thing. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. That was really funny. The internal, because like that's pretty accurate though. At this age, that's like the internal battle. Anytime someone does one of those old school jokes to you, it's like, wait. Okay, I'm just gonna go along with it because they obviously want to do this to me.
I did like that. Remove your finger and I'll be able to look. And he's like, what sorcery is this? And I can't find the mustard if your finger's not on it. Do you feel better? Does everyone feel better after some more funny videos?
Yeah, the positive vibes.
Yeah. Laughing helps
Okay,
a lot for sure.
These last few episodes have been kind of a little bit on the longer side. So I'm just going to do one more video and it won't be, it will be safe for YouTube. But I just thought this video was really interesting because we didn't do hardly anything old world. No old world buildings. But I saw this video and I thought this is a fascinating concept and maybe this is worthy of some discussion.
Yeah. This here what? Normal stone, nothing. Listen here.
Nej, så kult.
Music stone, my friend.
Oh, wow!
Limestone mixed with iron, my friend.
Fy faen, jeg kanskje skal starte sånn limestone-band når jeg kommer til Haugesund igjen. Nice.
Thoughts?
I would imagine that those blocks had to have been forged then in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, if the other stone, no stone makes that sound naturally that I've heard. I mean, I think I've seen one video or two where somebody did that on like a rock somewhere in the middle of nowhere. But like, I mean, for the most part, doesn't stone usually just sound like the first thing? You just hit it and it sounds like that. So that would imply that maybe those blocks were somehow manufactured. That would be what I would think.
Well, what if it's kind of that idea that in the Antiquitech, these things are giant electromagnetic objects, and in order to conduct the electricity through them, yeah, you can't. I mean, I know that what they say. I want to say granite is actually a conductive rock, but probably not so much as something that's metallic like iron stone, iron mixed.
No, those
with
were
stone.
tuned. Those were tuned to notes, and so those were specific notes, and the different notes give off specific frequencies. That was intentional. It's not even a question. Those were forged to give off a specific frequency.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because it's a stone doing that. You know.
No, I did not expect that. It sounded like metal.
Dude, I know. That's
crazy. That's the thing. What's crazy about it too is when you heard it, how did it make you feel? Those were pleasing tones. Those were not unpleasant tones.
Skillet.
Wasn't skillet tones.
Yeah, I didn't hear Emmanuel coming out of it.
No, well, you know, again, that probably, again, it kind of meshes nicely with the idea. For one, it's interesting. Iron, we talked about that recently, about how iron is this kind of heavenly alloy. And they mix it with this limestone. And then, so is this about acoustics, one, about electric conductivity, electromagnetism, and also is this all wrapped into one thing where the acoustics and the electricity component are together, and probably a strength component, because I imagine if you could mix limestone with iron, it would probably be way more durable than anything we've got today.
Yeah, my guess is it was all of those that they could fit into one thing.
Wonder if they had like iron dust or something that made it do that.
I don't know, but depending on how they were positioned, I mean, imagine enough of those pillars like in a circle, and you've got people in the center of it.
Dang,
and
that'd be interesting.
they've got a way of either sending electricity through them all, because that's the thing, right? Like they don't have to just they weren't going around pinging them with a rock. They were like probably feeding some kind of electricity into them, and it was making them ring. It was making them like harmonize,
resonate.
like loudly resonate. Yeah. And so then the more they resonated off of each other. and the louder it got. So my guess is it probably had something to do with sound healing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Well,
interesting.
exactly. That's the thing that we always talk about, that a lot of these old world buildings are just so overbuilt with the amount of arches they have. Now, like architecturally, an arch is beautiful, but it's strong. It can bear more weight because of the shape of the arch. But when you see some of these buildings, there's like a million of them, like right in a row. And yeah, if you think about it, if it was made with something like that, yeah, it would have to be about the sound and the conductivity about it. Not, I mean, again, it is beautiful at the same time. But yeah, the thing about it is, like you said, if you had iron dust that was mixed in, but that would kind of imply that, again, that these are not actually regular mined stones. These had
They're
to be
forged.
poured.
Yeah.
They had to be polymers. They had to get these things in and make these shapes. That's wild. I guess the one thing that you have to kind of factor in too is that if we believe that there was some cataclysmic fervent heat event, what did they
Was it
look like
cooked 'em?
before that happened?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because wouldn't they be more perfect if they were poured? Because they looked from the
mean,
outside, they looked just like regular stones.
Maybe they were metal at one point and then they stoned over. Maybe they like calcified over or something.
Yeah, I would love to be up personal, close with one of those, and do some of my own little tests on them, because the way they looked, I was not anticipating that sound at all when he hit it with a
No.
rock.
No, I was like, what?
We
like,
need
Yeah.
the ground test. We need you guys to get some normal rocks and try to go to some old world buildings and just give them a little,
Knock 'em.
just give them a little tap test.
Yeah.
A little taparoo. If you get a
Dude,
metallic here,
everybody do that. for
please
sure.
send us some videos. Try not to get arrested while you're doing it. And I changed my mind. I got one quick video. This is a fun one. We're past Halloween, but I think this is still very relevant. You guys need to see this, and I want you guys' input.
Has anybody else noticed that Reese's peanut butter cups taste nasty now? I was dipping into my kids' Halloween candy and figured I'd go for one, and it tasted like straight chemicals. And I swear they didn't used to taste like that. Now, I understand they are indeed chock full of chemicals, so it makes sense, but I could swear they didn't used to taste that nasty.
Now, any of you guys, were you guys ever fans of eating like Snickers bars and candy?
I only liked Reese's, and I will tell you that they do taste different, but the thing is, it's the little ones in the foil wrapper taste like trash. They taste like chemical trash. You have to get the ones that are not in the foil wrappers and the plastic ones. Those are the only ones that taste still the same. The foil wrapper little ones taste disgusting. I don't know why. They do taste terrible.
Aaron,
I mean, I feel like everything that's coming out, you're like, Aaron, I know you've eaten some candy in your day,
I'm
bro.
just saying. I mean, we all have.
No, but I would say everything that comes off of a conveyor belt and everything that is made with preservatives in it now. So like,
is a chemical.
So the real question though is, has it always been like this? Is it? Are we just noticing that it's terrible now, or is this a new phenomenon that the candy that we once loved as children is straight up crap now?
Okay, so I'm not saying there's a parallel between these two analogies or examples I'm about to give you, but there might be. In the same way that Ben Shapiro just doesn't give a crap anymore and the gloves are off and he's acting like the high school bully and he doesn't care anymore.
Right.
They also don't care about the fact that we know about all the chemicals and crap they're putting in the food. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. They don't care how it tastes. They know people are going to buy it. They're going to eat it anyways. They don't care anymore. They haven't cared for quite some time. I would say since 2020 and on, it's just gotten progressively worse. But like everyone's like, it's not real chicken they're selling at the stores anymore.
Yes.
It's not real chicken. But they're still buying it and they're still eating it. They don't care anymore. They know we know, and they don't care because people are still buying it and they're still eating it. That's my final conclusion.
I agree with that for the most part. I was just thinking that because I have ate mostly healthy in my life, and of course I'm not without cheat days, and I'm not without my every now and then to splurge a little bit. But I always love Snickers bars. I love Snickers bars.
Those are
occasionally
my dad's
you get
favorite.
there would be like the candy
They were my
out,
dad's
especially like
favorite,
those
too.
singles things. And there was a time where I remember was probably a couple years ago, and maybe just the protein bar selection was crap, and I was like, I'm just gonna eat whatever. So I'm gonna get a Snickers, and I was like, this is not even worth it. This tastes like I don't like this anymore, and I don't think that my taste buds evolved so much where I don't like what I used to like. But it's
They're like this big, and they're like $1, or like $4.
They're just it was yeah. It did not taste. It just that's the best way to say it. It tasted synthetic. The whole thing tasted synthetic. It didn't taste like real chocolate. It doesn't taste like real peanuts. Whatever.
Yeah, they do taste
the nougat's
synthetic,
not
for
real.
sure.
And nothing's real about it. It just tastes like this is like a Snickers, but this is not a real one.
Well, you know who owns Snickers, right? The Mars Company. And
Right.
you know who owns the Mars Company, right?
The people with little hats.
The people with little hats. It always goes back to them.
But the thing
every
is,
time.
it's the same thing about like the, and I know that there's been a like the fast food industry. We're not going to get into like the Soylent stuff, but just from normally the fast food industry, we're like way back in the day, like McDonald's made real hamburgers, right? And they really cooked them and flipped them on the grill. They made like it was real food made fast. And then eventually it became fast food where it's like really prepackaged and they just throw this crap in a microwave. But like the French fries at McDonald's used to be really good. And they probably use like beef tallow and stuff to cook the potatoes in. But yeah, like now if you go to one of those places, you're like, okay, I'm taking the kids. I don't care. This is a cheat day. And then you eat it and you're like, this is definitely not worth the calories. This is going to give me stomach rot now. I feel awful. It didn't even taste good. And I think that is something that, again, not to say this stuff before 2020 was good or good for you, but I will say that almost everything, if you could find a pre-Snickers, like 2019 Snickers, what do you think it would taste like compared to one in 2025? I
Probably
guarantee
different.
you that they're different. I guarantee you that the ingredients are different. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know, but I highly expect that so many ingredients in, like if you go to Chick-fil-A, you go get candy, that those are different. But I would say the one thing that I'm still, again, if I like to splurge a little bit with the kids, I do like a Blizzard from like Dairy Queen. They're still good.
Dude, I can't eat milkshakes
The candies
from
are
anywhere.
What's that?
I can't eat milkshakes from anywhere. Every
Lactose
milkshake,
intolerant?
dude. No, they taste like chemicals. They make your throat feel sort of like ugh. And like, bro, the only milkshakes I can drink from someplace, I've been able to tolerate the milkshakes from Chick-fil-A. I don't know if they're using real ice cream or what, but they're not as bad. And
Probably not
like,
whole
that's
milk
it. That's
ice
about
cream.
it.
They use chickens in their ice cream.
They use chickens. Yeah,
That's
there's chicken ice cream. Chicken ice cream.
So I've wondered before. So I wonder because like that a bunch of like the elite, that they like some of these old recipe items, right? Like old school Doritos or old school.
Yeah, right.
So like they've got a factory somewhere churning out all of the original recipe items that have been altered over the years.
You know
Like
where
the
they're
stuff that
you know
only
where
had
the you know where it's at?
It's in
past the
Israel.
ice wall.
Europe.
It's in Israel.
Oh.
It's in Europe. Well, no, I mean seriously, that's kind of like when you get down to it, is that
They put a little kosher stamp on
we've,
them.
We've talked about this a few times. If you look at the ingredients on like a standard Quaker Oats, whatever, in America, and if you go to Europe, it's like oats and salt, and that's like that's the list. That's all it is. And then you go to America, and then the label's this big with all the other stuff they put in it. And so I wonder, that'd be a good test if you could get a Snickers from somewhere in Europe versus the one you get on your local shelf and look at the ingredients. So,
well, do you know that if you ever see a Coca-Cola bottle and the cap is yellow, there's some Coca-Colas where the cap is like different colors. The cap that's yellow is actually kosher Coca-Cola, which has real cane sugar and not the synthetic, whatever, the one that kills everybody and poisons them. So it's actually different. The yellow cap Coca-Cola is kosher Coca-Cola.
I've never seen a yellow cap Coca-Cola in my life.
Yeah, there's Coca-Cola cap. They'll just look like the regular Coke bottles, but the cap screw part will be yellow.
I know Costco sells cases of them in the glass bottle from Mexico, and they use cane sugar.
Mm-hmm. Coca-Cola.
But no, I know that I've got so many friends that have gone to Europe and they eat there. Oh, that's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, see, look, so those are the two. So that's the kosher Coca-Cola.
Which
and then
kind
That's
still has the
wild.
cocaine in it, Brian?
the cocaine, yeah.
Only Elon Musk
That's
has
the white
access to
That's
that.
the white cap.
That's the white cap one, yeah.
What's with the white cap? But I know tons of people that have gone to Europe and they went over there and they ate the same that they eat here or more. They're like, I ate every meal, had dessert every single day, ate the same way,
And they lost weight.
They lose weight.
Yep, I heard about
Right,
that.
yeah,
too.
that's so one of my wife's coworkers, she mentions that she can't eat any kind of like lactose stuff here. You know,
It's not the same
it makes
anymore.
it makes her sick, but then she can get the stuff from back home and she's fine. Any kind of dairy is fine back home. But here, yeah, she's from
Yep.
from England. And yeah, the
Well.
stuff here just ruins her stomach.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
it.
Not surprised at all.
They're poisoning us all, guys. We're just human sacrifices to the oligarchs.
Well,
the
the
ones
one
in
thing about it
control.
is that
They're trying anyways.
Yeah.
the positive part of this is you don't really need those useless calories from Snickers and Reese's and McDonald's and Chick-fil-A.
Don't listen to him. Yes, you do.
No, you don't. And knowing that it tastes like crap now, then maybe that's
It's
incentive
not
to
worth
me.
it.
It's not.
It's not worth it.
There's all kinds of reasons it's not worth it, but it shouldn't be as tempting now when you eat it and you're like, this is plastic.
It wasn't worth it before. It's definitely
It's
not
definitely
worth it
not
now.
worth it now.
Your spirit can tell you if you should or shouldn't eat things too, guys. You don't need to like go look at the calories or look at the thing on the diagram. Like right now, you know you shouldn't eat at McDonald's. I don't need to tell you. You know in your heart when you go there, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do. Like you just feel that weight that you feel that like this is bad for me. That's your spirit. Okay, that's what people
And it's
started looking into
expensive
this
now
stuff.
too.
Yeah.
It's crazy expensive now. Like taking your kids or taking anybody to get whatever combo meal you get now is $10. I feel like I'm getting really old because when I first started working after college, I was like, we'd go to restaurants and they would have specials, and you could get like a steak and a baked potato, and it would come with a salad, and it was $4.99. Like, I mean,
You're
of course,
old,
it's not the
JT.
best.
You're
It's
old.
not. It's not a grass-fed
at
steak.
the
It's not the best
Sizzler?
steak. But the point is, it was a sit-down restaurant where you would go get this meal, and you could get that for $5.
You remember Sizzler? Did you guys have Sizzlers?
Oh, we had Sizzler,
Mhm.
but yeah, this was like, but that's how So in my mind, for the longest time, I thought I'm not going to pay more than $5 for lunch because that's what you can get for $5.
For sure.
And now it's like if you have a family of like 5 people, if you go get fast food, it's like $60.
More,
It's
maybe.
insane, dude.
That's more here, dude. It's like
Yeah,
60
$60,
bucks.
$70. That is ridiculous. And it tastes like crap. And it's got all kinds of just yuck in it.
You know what's interesting is in California, it's way more expensive. I went to New York and all the food was like so cheap compared to how it is in California. I was blown away.
New York was cheaper
New
than
York
California?
is
What?
cheaper in food than California. I swear to you not. Like, bro, it's literally like it's so much cheaper in New York for like food. The food in California, it is so expensive. Everything is like bougie and like everything's like just everywhere. It's like just so expensive. I don't even get it. I don't even
Yeah.
get it.
We get it. We know why. But
Yeah.
anyways, guys, on that note, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. This was a blast. I really appreciate all your support. And if you guys want to watch these episodes early and uncensored, please check us out on Patreon. And if you want to support this podcast and your health at the same time, don't eat at McDonald's, don't get Snickers, don't get Reese's. Check out Modern Roots Life. And also grab a t-shirt if you're in the mood to. I really appreciate you guys, all your love and support. God bless.